Frank getting the final verdict by the narrowest of margins when the two-day event was decided over the last stage. Newcomer Liam O'Callaghan, looking rather twitchy at times, brought his Esso Ultron Toyota home in third place. And Frank finally got a victory on the rally in which he'd so often starred. Bertie Fisher made his first appearance of the year on the AA Circuit of Ireland, and what an appearance! He dominated from start to finish on an event where virtually all the supercars surprisingly survived the marathon. But Bertie's limelight was almost stolen by a breathtaking finish for second place. Once again, Frank was up there fighting for valuable championship points. And the man trying to take them off him, Stephen Findlay, last year's Circuit of Ireland winner, who was fighting back from early troubles on the first day. By the very last stage, the two Escort Cosworths were locked on exactly equal time.
So Bertie Fisher has won his first AA Circuit of Ireland here at Bangor Park, but the real drama is behind for second place, because just 1 minute behind is Frank Maher, who is on his way now, and this is crucial. This wants to be a spectator entertainment, but now it's going to decide second place in the rally. Maher's time is 42 seconds. Now Findlay's flat out in Castle Park in this unbelievable climax to 4 days rallying. "41 seconds, he's got it. He's taken second place."
Just 2 weeks later, Frank had to fight with Liam O'Callaghan for his second victory in the series on the Carling Rally of the Lakes in Killarney. And O'Callaghan showed that he was really getting to grips with his new Toyota. A new name came to prominence on the international rally scene, James Leckie in his Subaru. Bertie was back in Donegal, and this time he'd a real fight on his hands from local man James Cullen. Frank had to watch this intense battle from behind. James got ahead on day 2 when Fisher punctured, but Bertie fought back to take his second victory, with Maher third in the Lombard and Ulster Escort. Now it was 2 wins apiece for Maher and Fisher. The Ulster Rally was dominated by the Group A cars, but you wouldn't have thought so if you read the British Championship press handouts. Fisher was famous on his home stages, taking his second straight win of the year and his second on his home international. What was good for Fisher could hardly have been worse for Maher. Stage 2 was the downfall for many, but Frank finally retired on the second day in his only non-finish of the year. Of the top contenders, only Fisher and Maher went to the Isle of Man, and it seemed that Bertie was going to snatch the series right from Frank's hands, particularly when this happened on the very first stage. But it wasn't to be for Bertie. Unlucky stage 13. A perfect in, but a disastrous out. The drive went in the Tarmac Subaru, and with it the championship. Frank was home and dry. He even allowed himself the high jump record over Fury. The championship was settled, but there's still plenty to battle for in the Fitzpatrick Dunlop Cork 20 Rally, with 2 former Tarmac champions along with Frank in the top 3.
Leagues under the sea. The Fitzpatrick Dunlop Cork 20 Rally. What's with this 20 business? Well, the Cork 20 Rally, which is one of the oldest titles in Irish motorsport, used to be a 20-hour endurance test. Now at least the drivers get a night's sleep. Softies.
There's nothing soft in this lineup. Number 1, Kenny McKinstry, who's got an interesting new power plant in the Formula 2 Escort.
It started probably a month, 6 weeks ago. Dave Mountain had decided to build a touring car engine, and I said I'd like to try that on some of the international rallies over here, and sort of a deal was struck then that would happen. Now we haven't got the full job, which was about 280 horsepower. It's slightly detuned with a different manifold and all on it, but it's probably producing a good 250, and it's a lot better than what we had in Donegal.
At number 3, the new champion, Frank Maher.
We go into this rally after winning the Ironman and the championship, and it just makes it an awful lot easier now, and we're delighted for everyone that helped us through the year to get through. And I mean, it was a tough event the whole way through, mainly from the beginning from Galway Circuit, Killarney, Donegal, bad luck in Ulster, and then the Manx.
Before the end of the first loop, the new Tarmac champion has caught and passed the national champion, Mickey Farrell. Indeed, the RD driver is languishing back in 10th place with low oil pressure. It's nice to see Austin McHale back at number 4. The multiple Cork and Tarmac winner proves that he's lost none of his skill. He's fastest in stage 1 and leads the rally by 2 seconds. There's disappointment for another Toyota, Liam O'Callaghan, who non-starts due to an oil pump failure. And Austin McHale is about to encounter disappointment himself as Conor O'Neill's camcorder catches on stage 3. A lead has dropped off the coil, and he and Dermot O'Gorman will lose a minute before they can resume. By then they will be down in 7th place. Andrew Nesbitt starts at number 6 in the cross-refrigeration Toyota and immediately sets a hot pace. After 3 stages, Andrew is in 3rd place, taking 2nd fastest time to Maher on the 3rd stage in the loop. Bob Fadden's not so happy. He's back in 6th position, complaining of understeer in the slow corners. This is yet another Group A Toyota, Mark Lovell's mobile example. Inside, with Duncan McMath on the notes, the English pair are hoping for a good finish after a miserable season.
30, medium right, 50, down to 90.
But their car is still a bit of a bitzer. It has Group A suspension and a Group N engine.
30, slow left into 90 right.
Carbon metallic brake pads were never heard of when the Mark II Escort was in its heyday. Connie Smith is finding that the set he recently fitted is making the braking rather unpredictable. It's not good for the Kevin man's confidence, but that certainly doesn't show here. Liam McCarthy in the Keohane Concrete Escort Cosworth is very much on home territory. But familiar or not, mistakes can still happen at high speed.
Left, cut left, 9 square left, cut left. Downhill. 1 left, 50, centre over crest, brake and turn square right loose. Don't cut it.
Now that this little time-consuming excursion is over, Kevin Murphy must get back on the notes. There's no real harm done, as the Dunmanway driver is still in an excellent 5th place. Derek Smith leads the Old Shape Esketeers in 8th place. And here's Dunmanway's swift guarder, Donal O'Donovan. He's in fact the top local driver. And he's an amazing 4th place overall in his newly acquired Manta 400. Here's more local talent, husband and wife team, Martin and Deirdre Daly from nearby Killarney, who are engaged in a mighty battle for the 2-litre class with Kieran O'Neill. Kieran's in full entertainment mode, but his appearance in Cork has a serious side. The Tarmac Class Championship is at stake. Gareth O'Callaghan seems particularly interested in Stephen Roach, who's running well in Group N. And Liam Davids does a bit of ditch hugging for Gareth's benefit. Aidan Davey goes even one better. But Philip Cross takes the 4 faults in his Sunbeam. The Doyle brothers are in Cork to try and win the Group N Co-Drivers Award for Rory. They're being shadowed here by Willie Singleton in the Blue Gas Sierra Cosworth. But Mark's manoeuvres, caught on camera by Conor O'Neill, are not helping their cause.
Well, Frank, plenty of mud over the back of the car. Must have been fairly slippery out there today.
The worst stage we've been on for a long time as far as slippery is concerned. We took it very, very handy over the first 2 and set fastest time of day on the last stage, and I think we're 9 seconds behind Kenny now, who's leading.
And of course Austin's had a problem and dropped well down the field.
Yeah, high tension lead I think came off before the start of the stage. He put it on, but it came off also through the stage, so I think he's dropped over a minute now. He was going very well there.
But no problems for you so far?
No, the only problem is me getting the feel of the car and the slippery, shiny tires. As I say, it's treacherous out there, so we're just prodding along nice and handy.
Amazingly, Kenny McKinstry, with new co-driver Ian Porter on board, now leads the rally outright in his stretched Formula 2 car. It defies reason that a 2-wheel drive car should be beating the 4-wheel drive machines in these damp conditions. Frank has decided it's time to end this phenomenon. He now starts to bang in some very quick times, taking fastest on stages 4 and 6. But Kenny is still pulling ahead. Andrew Nesbitt is not being left out of this race. He's third, just 30 seconds behind Maher. Alston, despite being a bit fed up after his stage 3 problems, has now moved back up to 4th, and he's hauling in the newer model Celica. Liam McCarthy has little to report since that spin on stage 3. The West Cork man is thoroughly enjoying his run in the RED prepared car, which is lying in 5th place.
At the gate, 40, 2 left, 2 left, keep right over crest, and 2 right tightens, 2 left fence, into 2 left, and centre over crest, 2 left, and 2 left cut.
Mickey Farrell is 7th in the Chorus Legacy, but he'll retire the Subaru overnight. Mark Lovell and Duncan McMath are enjoying a top 10 run in the mobile Toyota. But is that car looking a little smoky to you?
20 long left over big
As they
jump.
pass another of the early retirements, little do they realise they're soon to join the list.
2K right, 30 narrow slow left and 90 left.
There he is. The left side car.
The start of stage 6. 3, 2, 1, go! But we're not going anywhere.
Shaft, front shaft. That's it, it doesn't go nowhere when you break a front shaft because we haven't got a diff in the front.
Derek Smith moves up another place in the Ashgrove Interparks escort. As does Jim Harrison, who's now 9th in his Sierra. As the Mark IIs continue to entertain, the consequences of those brake problems are evident on the front of Connie Smith's motor. So Kieran O'Neill's big opposition won't come from Connie Smith today, but the Daly family.
Stages, road penalties, pace notes, park permits, all this rally jargon. I don't know about you, but I'm confused. So let's uncover some of this gobbledygook. The rally started here at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning and continues right around the countryside until it gets back to the same destination at 5 p.m. on Sunday evening. But that doesn't mean that it's continuous rallying throughout the country, far from it. The rally is in fact decided over special stages, sections of minor roads closed to the public. The cars are timed from the start to the finish of each stage, and the car with the fastest time over the total of 17 stages is the winner. Well, that's the first stage of my rally training, if you'll pardon the pun.
Kenny, this has been something you've been wanting to prove for a long time, that a Formula 2 car can lead it outright lead a rally.
Well, so far it's leading it, but it's hard work, I suppose, you know, but we're not really taking any chances. The car's really good and the engine's fabulous. Basically, the car's as it was in the Manx. In fact, it is exactly the same as it was in the Manx, other than we have a much more powerful engine. And basically what they've done to the engine is it's still 2 litre, but they have changed the head, cams, and obviously the induction. It's onto an injection, a slight throttle job. And I think it's the fact that they're probably 400 to 500 weight lighter, and on the fast stuff they get through the corners much quicker, I think, than the 4-wheel drive car, because it's heavy and it gets out of sequence very easy. We tried these tyres at 740 compound in Donegal, and we found they were brilliant, and we weren't able to get them in the right size for Ulster or Manx, and you know, we're back onto 740s again, and they're absolutely fabulous.
By the end of the day, Frank and Pat Mallockney, who incidentally needs a good result in Cork to get the Dunlop Tarmac Co-Drivers Award, have moved into the lead by 15 seconds, due mainly to some clever tyre choices in the ever-changing conditions. Austin McHale is still on a charge, and the Castrol car gains another place before nightfall to finish the Saturday stages in 3rd position. But Austin's rise is due to Andrew Nesbitt's misfortune as the Armagh driver's car blows a turbo in stage 7.
Long 2 right continues, tightens 30, 4 left now, fast.
Liam McCarthy is now only 16 seconds behind the lame Toyota, but the problem has been solved in Nesbitt's car, and their battle will resume in the morning.
There's a low ceiling over West Cork for the second and final day of the Fitzpatrick Dunlop Cork 20 rally. We now head up the mountains towards Mill Street in one of the leading Group N contenders, driven by Stephen Roach, who, if you'll pardon the pun, has been peddling his Energizer Toyota to great effect over the weekend. Stephen is locked in combat with Andy Blair's escort for the showroom category. And this doesn't help the cause. But stage 12 is even less kind to the former cycling world champion. A puncture here will cost them precious time and any chance of Group N victory. But Stephen and Bernard Smith should be very pleased with the progress this weekend. So Andy Blair and Jez Kemp run out the Group N winners. And that 2-litre battle, which has been so thrilling to watch, goes to Kieran O'Neill. And surely the bravest man in Irish rallying, his co-driver, John Henderson. Martin and Deirdre Daly chased them all the way with equal bravado. One Mark II escort actually made it into the top 5. That was due in part to Andrew Nesbitt's late demise. The Toyota will leave the road minutes from where these pictures are taken, with no damage to its occupants and little to the car. Derek Smith and Paddy Flanagan's outstanding drive netted the Dubliner a fabulous 5th place in his 15-year-old rally car. Liam McCarthy and Kieran Murphy swell Cork pride with an excellent 4th as we go on board with them for the final time to witness them passing the stricken Bob Fowden escort.
She left opens. Back there. One left. Into 2 right tightens. 2 right tightens. 100.
Kenny McKinstry, the importer, finally slipped down to 3rd in the Tom Garrity Tyres RS2000 after another giant-killing drive. Austin McHale and Dermot O'Gorman were easily the fastest combination on the Sunday stages, taking 6 fastest times on their spectacular climb back to 2nd. But Frank Maher and Pat Mallochny, his brother-in-law, complete an almost perfect season. Double Dunlop Tarmac champions, 4 international rally wins, and the memory of that big Cork accident 2 years ago in these very mountains well and truly buried. Enormous sacrifices have been made by the Maher family to achieve Ireland's premier rallying accolade. The Cork victory is now the icing on the cake after a wonderful season. Back on the finish ramp in Cork, and under the gaze of his adoring family, Frank picks up his own story.
It's been a long year, long tough year the whole way through. This weekend, I suppose, we went here being Tarmac champions, and we just said we'd pace ourselves for the first few stages, see how things went for it on the last 3, took the lead and held it the whole way through to the finish. 102 points out of a maximum 110, so we're very pleased with that. For everyone, all our sponsors through the year, I mean, we've got the best year we've ever done in rallying. It just seems so simple at the end of the day. When things go right for you, they really do go right, and everything works out well on the day. It was just our year, and that's the way it ended up. We're going to contact all our sponsors for this year, maybe a few more for next year, and hope they'll all come behind us. And we don't know what we will do, but we'll see what they want us to do.
So, Frank Maher is the big winner in 1995. Trevor Cathart is the Group N champion, Sean Campbell the historic champion, and Pat Carney the junior champion. RPM returns in 2 weeks' time when we follow a top Irish rally team to Belgium for the Flanders Rally. Until then, keep the revs up.